We are in the friendly city, also known as the Windy City at the Nelson Mandela Bay, as of course the fight for regional supremacy continues as we focus our attention on a different age group now. It is the COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship. A very good afternoon to you and thank you so much for joining us as we're coming to you live from KwaZakele at the Wolfson Stadium, as of course this particular tournament has been a big springboard in terms of nurturing as well as developing talent in the COSAFA region. But not only that, this year it has been special because it is all about the teams that will qualify for the African Cup of Nations Under 20 that will be staged out in Mauritania. As we look at the 11 countries that we will be seeing in action during the course of the tournament, you look at Group A, that's where you find Lesotho, Mozambique, South Africa, as well as Zimbabwe, South Africa being the host nation. When you now look at Group B, which is of course the fixtures that we will be seeing tomorrow, you find the Comoros, Malawi, Namibia, as well as the defending champions Zambia. Group C, that's where you find the three teams that will battle it out in Angola, Botswana, as well as Eswatini. 11 countries that will then collide, all in the fight for regional supremacy. When we look at what we have in terms of action for today, we do have two particular fixtures that we will be showing you right here. And starting off, we do have a Mozambique up against the Lesotho, and a bit later on, it is the host country in South Africa up against Zimbabwe. That one will also be an interesting one, as South Africa will be hoping to assert themselves here at home. But before then, it is all about Mozambique as well as Lesotho. Now let's get to hear what the coaches think ahead of this one. Coach, appreciate your time. Please give us some idea in terms of how the team is currently looking. We do know that there was quite a long period of inactivity across all the nations.
We hope we are prepared for this match. We believe in that. So we will try our best. Our preparation, it was good for the time we have without playing, the problem of pandemic, but we want to see how we can perform.
The aspirations from this very young side?
Yes, we have aspiration to win this match.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. Please give us some insight on the state of readiness from your team.
Yeah, although we had a very limited time, but we managed to do our level best to prepare for the tournament. Yeah. Yes, I would say that we didn't have that much time, but we had to prepare took something like 2 to 3 weeks, but we managed to bring the boys together. Yeah.
You touch on the period in terms of how long the team had to prepare. Do you think that almost levels the playing field across all the nations because of the lockdown?
Obviously, each and every country was affected by the COVID pandemic. So yeah.
Thank you, Coach. All the best.
Thanks.
Coach Daria of Mozambique says that they don't want to get ahead of themselves. They just want to focus on each game at a time. And right now, their only obstacle is in Lesotho. It is two nations that have never put their hands on the coveted trophy of the COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship. And they'll be hoping that this time they will get lucky. But it all starts with this particular first game in commentary. Motlogeleng Kininda for this one.
Well, two sides that are set to just try and clinch this title for the first time. That is Mozambique up against Lesotho, COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship 2020. Well, we are live at Wolfson Stadium at the Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality. I must say that looks nice and blue in the sky, and of course the wind speed will forever play a part in this parts of the province because of the ocean nearby. Now, humidity is at 53% and speed for the wind on 21 kilometers an hour, 22 degrees on temperature, and two sides that are familiar with such heat, and I don't think it might affect their play or it might affect how they progress in this game. Now, you go back to the drawing board as a coach and say, it's been years we've been knocking at this tournament. Do we really have to participate and not find ourselves clinching the title, find ourselves not winning anything? Always phasing out in the group stages. Could this time around this very team of the Mozambican squad try and improve their performance and maybe see themselves alongside Lesotho, maybe meeting in the finals? It's possible, coming from the same group. That is a bit of a tough group there, because they have the likes of South Africa in it, who will be playing later on against a very interesting side, that is Zimbabwe. But it's all upon these young stars to see themselves reaching the final of this 2020 inception of the tournament. Now you've got the HOD of the Mozambican Football Federation there, who's also just come in to witness a few things from the teams, accompanying them as a thing of interest and making sure that the boys are well taken care of. Of course, looking at the pandemic that is upon us, you'd have to have a lot of personalities or dignitaries just monitoring the games. Now, of course, not forgetting the dignitaries of this very same tournament. Seems to be a mini struggle in terms of communication with the teams that are holding the flags, and communication seems to be disadvantaging them there, but it's all system goes now. The walkabouts have started, so imagine it is the COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship at the Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium. A first match of the Under 20s, opening match of this tournament of the COSAFA Cup Under 20 Championship, and the first match of this beautiful tournament is between two sides that have tried to put in a fight a couple of years, tried to put in a fight, but it hasn't materialized for them. Now 2020 is upon them. They've gotten the monkey off their back, that is the pandemic that deprived them being part of beautiful activities, beautiful games that they play. And today the COSAFA Cup is underway. In the Lesotho side, looking very young, with the likes of Liuseta Mufukeng. Some of the players that were part of the Under 17 have been brought into this squad, and a well-structured Mozambican side led there by Alberto Alfacey. We'll be looking forward to see what they perhaps present themselves, how they play, how they plan to take on this opposition side. Now let's just hold it for the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Mozambique. And now, the national anthem of
Well, we close it off with the coolest and calmest national anthem of Lesotho. And well, formalities have been gotten out of the way, and two sides which have a very short and brief national anthem when it comes to singing them. Now, we know the First Lady to be part of the ABSA Premiership, now known as the DSTV Premiership, Akona Makalima, a very sharp lady, alongside the varsity football well-known assistant ref, that is Sean Olive, and secondly, assistant, that is Clarence. The lady will be on the left-hand side of the pitch. Now, toss of the coin, one side chooses which direction they want to go, and seems like a Mozambican side are just comfortable with keeping the side that they are in, or rather they want to start from the right going to the left. Now here's a squad assembled by the Mozambican side. Jose Zavala is one of the players you'll see in the center of the park, and Derek Augusto, one of the players, well, a congested center rather, that is Simon Capriano and Claudio Tropar, will be at the center. They're just monitoring this very side that has only three in the center. That is Tumilisho Ratsui and Katiso Selili Kanalelo Rapuleng, will be also ushering the center of the park, trying to find Tebogo Litsema and Libusetsa Mufukeng, the two wingers of the squad. Then yet to see what they have in store, because the Mozambican side has a 3-4-3 system that they brought into play, and Lesotho are saying we go for 4-2-3-1. So it is all about attack, and we attack and we attack. Here's that man who's assembled his squad. That is Bafukeng Muhapi. Well, he's got a lot of things to get off now. The coach Dario Monteiro, those that know him in South Africa, he won under the coach Kevin Hunt the ABSA Premiership in 2007-2008 season. Well, traveled to coach at 45 years of age, but he's just planting a seed as well and mentoring the youngsters. Now, Akona Sheriff will be the sheriff in the park, and if you don't get your ducks on the roll, she's most likely going to show you your way. You don't get your way out of Akona Sheriff, one of the sheriffs that varsity football players know very well, that this lady, you don't mess with her. You don't just commit a foul and walk away with it. Well, we yet to see how it all unfolds. And the Lesotho side that arrived 45 minutes before kickoff, and the rule says an hour before. So maybe some of the checklists during this pandemic processes may have been skipped, but we trust and hope that the task team responsible for all of this, they were able to just get their things properly done. Now, as we wait for a signal that the First Lady in the park will be blowing the whistle and saying, adios amigos, let's start. And it's all good, because it gives you time to calm your nerves as well and absorb the heat, absorb the pressure, and off we go, she says. Lesotho, you center the ball. And Lesotho are just saying, we are taking it to them. COSAFA Under 20 Youth Championship 2020, Mozambique versus Lesotho. Now, two sides that have been runners-up for the longest time. If you look at the likes of Mozambique, they've just been runners-up for close to 4 years now. And Lesotho just... not runners-up, rather just being in the group stages most of the time. So they need to now get themselves out of that situation, try and get themselves into the final. A ball played long for Lesotho. Ball with that man himself, Tumelisho Ratsui. Now, Mozambican side on a front foot coming from the left-hand side, Eduardo Anderson. Teammates are giving Kalalelo Rapuleng some applause. That's a good marking, teammate. Good marking, mate. Don't give him room. Don't give him a chance to play. Nicely chipped over to the left-hand side of the pitch. by that shot man Katiso Selili. It goes wide, but ball intercepted by Lesotho National. Already, Connor Sheriff has blown a whistle just to give them a foul there with a showing of stats, and as well there's a bit of handling coming from that man Tebogo Litima. Now here's Lesotho on the front foot here. He goes for a shot, but next power to Melisho Ratui. Or rather Ratiwi. Young man, at least add a number of meters just to close down the gap, get closer to the box, and then unleash a proper shot, provide good technique. A ball played long to the far side to try find that man Valdemino Paulinho. Throw in for Mozambique as Dacio Augusto played the ball, trying to whip in that cross, but centre backs of Lesotho getting it off the danger zone. A ball, Eduardo Anderson was unable to time his run there. The build up from the back coming from the Lesotho side, just absorbing all that they can and trying to create that mini balance after they just arrived on the pitch and weren't able to do any pitch walkabouts. So immediately got off the bus and went to change room, and then it was warm up. So now the Mozambique are patiently just playing one player from another, but a switch of play to find that man Anderson. A good first touch there. Now trying to lay it over for his teammate, that is Clayton Tropper, who puts in a cross, cleared by the Lesotho side. Now they find that man up front there, Tumelisho Ratsui. Captain, that is Tumelisho, was just asking for attention there from the First Lady of the DSTV Premiership. The ball played long, trying to find the Domeli show, but cleared by that tall man, a gigantic man, that is Alberto Arfanse. Again, Eduardo Anderson with the ball. Could have played shorter than him, going long. He had his teammates there, that is Celtin Jamesi. Now, can the Mozambican side get themselves a goal this early? Cleared by Lesotho Nationals, just trying to catch them on the counter, but well, the run was well timed, but he opted to stop and maybe meet it from a different angle. That is Hlomelang Libina. Throw in for Lesotho. There's that man who has been familiar with South Africa, and this man mentored by coach Thabo Sinong. Lesotho going wide to find Tibelo. It's Tibelo Musweu. If you're wondering where we are just playing this match, rather do the right thing and go to COSAFA TV. And if you'd like to engage with us, don't forget to now, well, you can do COSAFA TV first, just to get to see what the match is all about and who's winning this one. Social media will remain COSAFA under 20 this time around. So Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, we are just there for you to engage with us, and surely you'll share good views with us. Ball played long to find Eduardo Anderson, but pace seems to be not one of his greatest abilities. Maybe young man is still cold, yet to be warm and execute according to what the coach instruction is saying, because it seems to be a wing play type of a match for the Mozambican side. Lesotho just gifting that man each and every long ball. That is Alberto Arfanse, who is tall and cementing his role there, just winning all the high balls. There's that man Alberto Arfanse trying to find his teammate, that is Simon Capriano. A ball played wide to Dacio Augusto, who tries to get in across, but communication by the keeper. They're not putting enough support early to try and help Tibelo. Forced to stretch one more time, and that is Katiso Selili, who just gifted one corner to the Mozambican side that has the strength to compete for those high balls. Can this man Museu Siahlelo and try and save the team for the day? Maybe walk out of this pitch without conceding a goal. A clean sheet also goes a long way for a team, and it's the first corner for the Mozambican side. Now played short, but seems to be good marking there, and a clean and a well executed tackle that is. And if you're expecting maybe a penalty from a smart lady like Akona, you are just taking your chances. Now Lesotho building up and trying to play long to find that man Hlomelang Libina, who's marked by two gigantic men at the center there. That is Alberto alongside the number 13. That is Diaz Fumo. Now a ball played and showing us stats coming from that young man Libusetsa Mufukeng. Now a ball played wide by Mozambique. Now a shot is taken again. Keeper spills it out, and follow-up is resulting into this man Mozambican side. Oh my goodness. He came out of nowhere to profit from that one. The spiel from the keeper, Simon Capriano, is the one that couldn't handle this one. Museu Siahlelo. Good power, good strike coming from the young man in the center, and just unable to hold on to it. And this man says that is a Cipriano. No, been a bit of a look at that. And good drive and power on the ball, but keeper couldn't pocket that one. And yes, the follow-up, there is no offside. It is that man sitting up front, that is Simon Cipriano, who says, boys, let's take the lead. They're giving us a chance to score. Simon Cipriano starting off with a goal in this opening match. Should tell you that a striker of note, one to look out for, especially for his structure and strength. So he's going to be bullying the center backs there, just forcing them to give him the ball. Now they've seen what the keeper can do or cannot do. They will look into doing more of that. A shot at goal, a fast shot at goal, should we say, and it all just resulted into a goal. Now a good 10 there just to put his body in front. That is Hlomelela Libina, but final touch or pass coming from his teammate, very poor Libusetsa Mufukeng. Now again they go wide, trying to find that man Eduardo Anderson. Unnecessary panic coming from the center back there. It's just kicking the ball unnecessarily instead of him keeping the passes shorter. Ball with number 10, Valdemiro Paulinho. Ball won by Lesotho. Can hear them speaking and saying Aria in their language. This means let's go, boys. Well, also early stages of the match. I mean, Lesotho can still come back in this one. They can maybe still win, but a change of style of play would be something they look into. Now, indecisive play there, Prophet Shomelela, who's just 1v1 with that man, but claiming to have been kicked. But the ref says, I'm at a better view. There was no contact that would require me to blow the whistle. Players down, and the Lesotho side just playing, and their teammate is Shomelela, who is claiming to have been clipped there by that man. And yes, there was that contact. Fortunately, it was just not in the box. That is Dias Fumo, who then claims to have not kicked the player. Shomelela Libina wouldn't want to go out so early. He would rather want to go and try get himself scoring a goal. Now, a bit of a chance to have a conversation with the coach, rather, having one of their players outside. Now it's all about coach saying stay calm with Russia. Do not rush the game. It's still early stages of the game, and they could perhaps find themselves scoring an equalizer, maybe scoring the second goal. So, a ball played back, and nicely easy by the leading pack. That is Mozambique in this point in time. Now here's that man, the goal scorer finds Eduardo Anderson, who is just ushered outside the box, forced to go back to this man, Jose Zavala, who then takes it to the number 19, that is Alberto Arfanse, who finds that man, Clyde Tropper. Assistant ref picking that offside up and not giving any chance takers a room to take any chances on her. Marking there seems to have not gone right, coming from that man Tivelo Museu up against this man Valdemiro Paulinho, and it's a throw-in in favor of Lesotho. And if you have conversations with the coaches and say, how long, coach, did it take for you to assemble the squad? Most of them would say 2 to 3 weeks. Luckily, maybe in your home country, you're able to just meet as a team and exercise, or just get those friendlies going on, just to give some mileage on the players, of course. But pandemic was just upon us. Some teams were unable to come back in this pandemic. Valdemiro Paulinho fouled there by that man Katiso Silili. A ball played wide, tucks in. The fullback seems to be trying his own tricks in the book. That is Clyde Tropper. Now across the put in, headed away by the Lesotho side, who also want to find themselves in the counter. They can't seem to combine, can't seem to add numbers going forward. Cleared again. bit of pushing there, I think. Oh, he picked it up, at least. This man has been winning all the high balls that Lesotho are bringing to towards Mozambique. So rather keep them down, Lesotho, and pass and rotate it and keep it short as well.
Nothing wrong. A corner. A corner. Take the ball back.
Asked to just take a few steps back, 2 to 3 meters back after cheating that one. No. Just
Yeah, I got it.
no. Ball played with the power, but no direction. Had a low, nothing to bother the keeper. Thrown in again by that very same man who took the set piece. That is Tivelo Musweu. Now, that was a good call. A well positioned lady. You have Lesotho that once lost to Eswatini in this encounter. Their opening match, they lost to Eswatini by 2 goals to 0. So they'll be looking into just having an opening match where they do not lose. Maybe a draw could be what they need. Again, in the second game, they then played a draw against Mauritius. So there was a bit of hope, I'm sure, coming from that draw. The ball is played on the left-hand side of the pitch by the Mozambican side, who are just trying to get more goals early in the early stages. Necessary style. Necessarily dribbling coming from Eduardo Anderson, and it's just to make the coach mad, make the coach become more animated. He hasn't sat down in this match because he just wants to open the tournament at least with a win. Players are just asking and asking and asking for the ref to eventually just reach out to her pocket and caution them. Trying to steal a few meters once she looks away, but she knows where the ball was, so you can't cheat your elder. They should actually be addressing and say, auntie. No. Now, Mozambique are trying to combine touches on the far side of the pitch, but switch of play to find Eduardo Anderson, who normally plays back to his teammate Clyde Tropper, and Clyde Tropper trying to just drop a shoulder, lose the 2 players, but it can't seem to be happening for him. No, the Lesotho side has been very vocal in this match, and we need to reduce on the noise level. But what is that coming from the young man there, Tumelisho Ratsui? Lesotho also suffered a defeat in this tournament against South Africa, who are playing Zimbabwe in the next 55 minutes, should we say.
That's wrong.
Ball position is in favor of Mozambique here with 66. Now a cross has been put in, but zero numbers in the box are not directed to the right person. Played long. Now here's this man popping out of nowhere to find Jose Zavala, who's trying to whip it nice and hard, but not the right option to drill it in. Throw in for Mozambique with that man Rene Tembe, who finds that very man Dasio Augusto up against Katiso Selili. Very small with structure, but it puts in a good fight. So far so good for Katiso Selili. Now a combination again from the right hand side, and that man just forced it to go back. That is Valdemiro Paulinho. He got the ball out of the danger zone, a switch of play to find Anderson, who is forever playing his teammate Clyde Tropel. There's a foul there with a 10 coming from this man Dasio Augusto, but fouled by Katiso Selili. But I can tell you one thing, that Katiso's next infringement is going to result into him being the first player to be booked. He's been skating on thin ice. Man with a skill who keeps the ball better, goes wide to find Dasio Augusto. Not a quality cross, but the ball still is. Can he get it in? Passing not accurate, but saved by Hlomelela Libina. Capitano, the number 18, Livuse, that is Sultan Jamesi. Ball played long to find that man, Diaz Fumo. I think Lady O'Connor says, young men, young boys, the sun is scorching. Rather jog to your coaches and have a sip of that water. Getting a bit of a tongue lash from the fourth official saying, do not step out of the pitch, be on the line and the water will be brought to you. Temperature sitting on 22 degrees, and coaches will be getting opportunities. Now, good strike coming from this man, Dasio Augusto, and keeper Musausi Echelo was unable to close that one in, and the main man, that is Simon Capriano, made no mistake and followed it up with a header. And of course there's no offside there because it comes from the opposition side. think conversations have unfolded. Now, here's a man who will be just keeping a watchful eye on the young stars and seeing if he can select a few of these players from the Lesotho side. A South African coach, a former national team coach in the juniors, that is Coach Thabo Sinong. We say, Coach, welcome home, rather. We know that somehow you had spent time in Lesotho during the pandemic times. And of course, not forgetting this profit of a goal. Now, if you talk about power, Dasho Augusto has that. If you've got to talk about resilience and persistence, this man, Simon Capriano, says, I can do it, I can give it to you. Now, good goal coming from the number 9. Well, can only tell you that the element of alertness coming from this man was on high, or was 100% good. He was able to pick up that keeper spilled the ball, and his pace to cover that ground was good. Now running with the ball, that is Jose Zavala. Now clumsy tackle that this man couldn't be taken down. Valdemiro Paulinho. Oh, I see a number of crosses coming from him, but none of those crosses have been profitable to find the number 9, that is Simon Capriano. The ball is played long, a keeper comes out. Communication seems to be lacking there, and a foul is given in favor of the keeper because it was a head and kick of a situation. The player threw his body in. That is the young man, Libusetsa Mofokeng. Now, I can tell you. Now, I can tell you that
Doesn't need some help.
a man went charging because he saw the ball and he saw himself maybe winning it. But when you go against the keeper, a person who throws his body, throws his whole body, pure communication coming from the center back, and yes, the keeper had a very good decision. And as for Libusetsa Mofokeng sticking his foot out there with the hope that he will perhaps toe poke it, found him injuring himself. I must say that the centre backs are a bit of a worrying factor for Libusetsa Mofokeng. Maybe he saw something from them, hence he put pressure on them. But I must say Diaz Fumo and Alberto Alphonse were unable to communicate their keeper. Now here's a chance for this man, but the keeper comes out and one-on-one, unable to score there. Well, a good cover now, shot taken, but nothing to trouble the defense of the Lesotho team. Now a bit of high foot ball playing here, not picked up by the Sheriff herself. Still play on. The ball in Lesotho's favor. Switch of play with no chance of getting it there. And now, of course, we are still live on your www.cosafa.tv. That's where you can get to watch this match. And social media will also give you a bit of a brief and moments of the game. That is COSAFA Under 20 on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That is, no, a foul has been. Well, I did say that this man is asking for these cards coming from Akona. It's I think it's a 4th or 5th time, and now a whistle has been blown for him or for his infringement. So, I mean, if you want a yellow card, the Sheriff will give you one. No. Ball played to Clyde Tropa. Patiently building up the Mozambican side. Ball cleared from the center to find that man, Clyde Tropa. who is trying to just direct it to his teammate, that is Simon Cipriano, with a foul given to Lesotho, or in favor of Lesotho. This man seems to be going hard and hard in this match. It seems like this young man is in good pain. He just got himself in the books of the ref. I think he has that right foot, that the left foot rather, was the one that stepped on his ankle and seems to be strapped. So clearly he was playing with a little bit of knock, and maybe this man, the striker, that is Simon Cipriano, gets a yellow, or goal scorer, 1 yellow and 1 goal. That is Simon Cipriano. Young man is walking up. There's that knock, because he had his studs out, and then Cipriano, when he was landing with his left foot, landed on his ankle there, and it was an awkward landing because the foot was not in a very comfortable position, so hence the knock was a bit painful. No, Lesotho are just playing with fire now, building from the back, and Mozambican side putting pressure to this man, Tibelo Museu, and he says, rather, let's play it safe. Let's give them a throw in and start over. Now, here's that man, Valdemiro Paulinho, goes back and start over by Mozambique. Now, Eduardo Anderson turning left, right, and center to find Jose Zavala, and Anderson has the ball and still wants to take another strike too. Seems like the strategy is all about let's take shots. That is Eduardo Anderson. No, man, who couldn't save that ball or that shot? Now, here's the run coming from the right-hand side, and the cross isn't put in, but late runs from the two men. That is Simon Cipriano and Eduardo Anderson. It could have been an open net of a goal there, because keeper had already committed to the first pole and inviting ball, but not the greatest finish. Now, here's the run coming from the right-hand side, and a well-put-in cross by Dacio Augusto, with an attempt to find Eduardo Anderson and Valdemiro Paulinho, who was also running alongside that man, Dacio Augusto. That's the man with a yellow card. Now is Katiso on the ball. On the passing, I must say, passing from the Lesotho side. On the ball. Ball played long, but nothing or of a Lesotho side who's receiving that room to play, to rotate their passes and spend more time in the opposition's half. That is Mozambique. Now Anderson trying to lose his opponent. Patiently building up, and what a skill there. Of course, he just pulled him unnecessarily because a skill has dispossessed him and he couldn't hold on to it. That is Libusetsa Mufukeng. Just getting a bit of a warning and a yellow card by the sheriff, saying, you are going into my books, young man. That was intentional. Denying another player, Libusetsa Mufukeng, an opportunity to go score. I mean, look at this combination of passes and the skill coming from Dacio Augusto. must say some sort of skills can really force you to just foul a player. Well, a number of cards sitting on 2 for Lesotho, 1 for Zimbabwe. Or rather Mozambique, I apologize there for saying Zim, that are playing next against South Africa. A bit of instruction coming from the bench, guiding the keeper. A ball whipped in very well, and it flicked by the Lesotho player there. Luckily, none of the Mozambican side or players were close to that flick. Now, here's that man trying to take a shot and went for a switch. And assistant ref says he's offside. There's no room for you, cannot run. High pressing coming from Mozambique is really profiting them because they're staying in the opponent's half. They just keep on playing the ball, and every ball that Lesotho has, they try to play them long or to Shomulela up front, and Libuseta Mofokeng are just not getting balls as much as they would love to get them. No, that's a foul straight up. No, foul in a danger zone, and the ball is with that man who took a shot, who took a strike at goal. Is he now going to attempt to take it straight to Musweu Seahlelo, who is not very comfortable at the moment because the enemy is yet to face him again. Well, seems like Eduardo Anderson is positioning the ball, but we know that sometimes it's all about the dummy runs. The specific person to take this ball is going to be that man, Dasio Augusto. No. Well, can he go for goal in this instance? Yes, he does, but nothing to trouble Musweu. Well grabbed by that man going long with a quick counter. That is Tumilisho Ratsui, but goes back to his half. Again to patiently build up and struggles to get out of their half with the patient build up is really concerning, because it seems to have 2, 4, 6, 7 players just close to their box, and only 2 players who's pushed forward. That is 2v4. Now played long. That's when Mozambicans win the ball. They then create a counter-attack opportunity. Oh, that's been a quiet man, Tibelo Musweu. Again, a ball play long to find the big man up front. That is Tumilisho Ratsui. Ball in favor of Mozambique, but unable to combine the touches and the passes going forward. It seems to be not happening for them. Our question says, had it not been the error coming from the keeper, none of this side maybe would have scored a goal. The throw in for Mozambique, and playing short to find that man Dasio Augusto. Intercepted there by the big man Tumilisho to find Tebogo Litsema. Goes wide on the right hand side now. At least Lesotho have gotten 2, 3 touches. Now it's a head challenge, and you cannot stop the medic. They quickly rush into the pitch because that man Alberto Alfase just decided to
I would
go
manage.
for the head
Manage,
and the
manage,
ball.
manage. No card, manage.
I hope the ref will have a conversation with him. If you look at that one, no intent, but he rather went for the opponent more than he was supposed to have gone for the actual player. No, Akona Sheriff is saying it's the second time I caution you, and it's the second time I warn you rather that I will book you next time around. That is Alberto Alfase shouldn't have went for that ball, because honestly there was nothing troubling them not facing the goal. Ball with this man, Tumilisho Ratsui.
A corner, watch your
Is he
meter.
going to go for goal? Is he going to
Watch your distance.
play it over the defense?
Okay.
No, Tumilisho just eyeing and eyeing the keeper, trying to see where can he take the ball if he goes for goal, or is he going to find his teammate? No, Sheriff says that you guys are pushing one another too much. No, with a game that has been just quiet, but with promises. Now, Tumelisho goes for goal, but too much height on it and over the cross bar, nothing to bother keeper. That is Kimis Zavala. 43 minutes of the game has gone by, and Mozambique still have the lead. Are they going to keep the lead, or they'll look at maybe getting another goal? Now, Domeli Show just putting some character and a persona. Another man who's got the pace, and his passes haven't been fruitful so far. They've been intercepted most of the time. Now, cleared off
No, don't say that because you're already
by
acknowledging it's a
Alberto
foul. Take it
Alfase.
easy.
Seems like a couple of seconds remaining on the clock on the first half, and
Happy with that? No foul! Happy.
well, it's just only 4 minutes to be added on. Well, not much of a stop and go that really took a lot of time, except that head collision that happened earlier on. But Medic were quick to just get the player off the field, and he's back on playing, waiting for a cross, or rather a corner. That is, and I'll say that it's been a good first half for Mozambique, because they were able to score a goal. They were able to be at an advantage. Now, Connor played outside the box with an attempt to get a volley, but a good interception, or rather a good interruption to deny this man a chance to take a shot. That is Tebucho Litsema. No. A side which is it's just a building, and building from the back, and able to come out of the half. That is Mozambique, and finding that man Eduardo Anderson to be on his bike most of the time, and Valdemiro Paulinho also being one of the players who have the pace to just get the crosses in, but unable to convert into a goal, or to find that big man Simon Cipriano, who's sitting up front there trying to get those balls. And a Lesotho side, if they were to reduce the number of long passes they've been playing, it would be better for them. Keep them short, get closer, get out of your box,
Happy with that? Let's go.
or
Celebrate.
your half. It would be better. It might be that the lack of training is also just frustrating the side that is Lesotho. Now it's a pace, and here's that man putting pressure on the keeper, but unable to clear it. That is Musweu Siahlelo. Oh, so seems like Lucky number 10, Valdemiro Paulinho, also wanting to get those crosses, but hasn't been getting them right. He does drop a shoulder, does cut in, but just finding his teammates seems to be the difficult time for him. No, putting pressure, it's 3v1 or 3v2. Here is that man, Musu Siechelo. Ball one in the air by Rene Tembe, who's been quiet on the right hand side. Haven't seen much of him advancing high there, trying to make those runs and put those crosses. Well, I suppose his teammate Valdemiro Paulinho is doing all the work, and all he does is just sit back, relax, watch the opposition come at us, and you play your part with marking. Now, poor marking again there. Just a ball played over the defense, but good call by the ref. And picking that one up by the assistant ref has been a quite good one. I still say the type of passes Lesotho are just issuing out, and it can't seem to be happening. They seem to be passing an empty house. They seem to be passing no one. When they go long, keep them short. The ball again played longer by that tall Shali Likota, number 3 center back. Young man seems to be coming all right. The 2001 born player. He's 19 years of age, and well, Akona Sheriff says, okay, young lads, okay, young men, now go to the change room and just get your head right, and never forget that this young man was unable to actually save that ball, and the big man himself, Simon Cipriano, was able to profit from that. Now, a protocol remains observed in this tournament. One team in, and thereafter it's them. Well, as things stand, there's 2 sides. That is Mozambique 1 and Lesotho 0. Well, I think this shot really unlocked Mozambique, because they came in with the guns blazing, with a shot coming from Dacio Augusto, and this man Simon Cipriano saying, I will just finish it off for you. You couldn't save that one, young man. Look at the power. And he dropped his head, and the ball is spilled by Muso Siechano. Gave advantage to Simon Cipriano. Well, again, going for that long pass to find the very same man, Simon, but pressure and again persistence coming from that lucky number 10, Valdemiro Paulinho, was unable to score that one. Now, a poor back pass, lacking weight, back pass, that is, oh well, the rectifying of the score, Lesotho 0 and Mozambique 1. Again, they played long. Lesotho trying to find that big man, unable to, but a cross here that could have resulted into a goal, but 2 men, Eduardo Adriano Anderson rather, and Simon Cipriano were unable to profit from that. And I must say, Dacio Augusto has just been a person putting pressure and pressure. Now, statistics will just speak for themselves in this match in favor of Mozambique. And looking at the number of shots on target, 5 and 2 for Lesotho. Well, pole position is in favor of Mozambique with 61 and 39 for Lesotho.
I am now with Mr. Timothy Shongwe, the COSAFA competitions chairperson. Mr. Timothy, thank you so much for joining us. I mean, at the start of the year, during the pandemic, it didn't look like there would be any COSAFA tournament, but right now, we find a situation where we are 3 tournaments in and currently with the 4th one.
This is a very, very happy moment for me, not only for me, for the entire executive committee of COSAFA and our region, COSAFA region, because really, as you rightly pointed out, some of these competitions were to be organized in Mauritius, and Mauritius shut down because of the pandemic, and we had to look around when South Africa was also closed, shut down. Until October, that's when we were able to get permission to come to, at least to come to South Africa and organize these competitions. And for that, we are very, very grateful.
The relationship between Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality and this amazing initiative in the COSAFA tournaments that have been staged here.
It's a very good relationship that we have had. This is our third one. And we have also established some legacy competitions. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the under-15s that was to start in a week's time because of the pandemic. I mean, you are aware of the numbers of COVID here in our beautiful city are going up, and we are very sorry and disappointed about that. But that's what it is. But we have a very, very good relationship with the municipality.
Usually these types of tournaments, they use as preparation for the African Cup of Nations, but this time around things are slightly a bit different as they are now used as the qualifier. The pressure then on the teams to do well at this level.
The pressure is very, very high, not only on the teams, but the administration as well, because they need to prepare the teams. They need to make sure that all the qualifier conditions and guidelines are followed. And somewhere along the way we trip over, but we pick ourselves up a bit. But yes, the under-17s are gone now, and now this is under-20. It's a qualifier for the Mauritania next year, and the pressure is very, very high. And it's not only just the CAF qualifier, but also when they go to CAF and play well there, they will qualify for the World Cup.
And on a bigger scope, in terms of development of players as well as coaches in the COSAFA region, the role that these types of competitions play.
Look, I always answer this question that the COSAFA competitions are purely developmental. Not only just the players themselves, the officials, the referees, the administrators, yourselves as well. We use these competitions for development, and we have been able to see the results, very good results, both on the players and as well as officials. And most of our officials, now referees, they are able to officiate in big games, continental games and world games as well.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Mr. Timothy Shonga right there. Well, we have the first game of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. It is Mozambique that are currently leading up against Lesotho. Now let's find out more about this beautiful city.
No. Well, tough is out of the way. Two sides that haven't clinched this title, the COSAFA Championship under 20. Now this is their chance to say we can perhaps score a goal as Lesotho and equalize. Maybe Mozambique will want to score another goal in this second half. They going long already, trying to find the man who's forever on the bike, the lucky number 10, Valdemiro Paulinho. As a player who gets the balls into the box, but the final touch seems to be letting him down. And goal kick already in favor of Lesotho. Should they play shorter, or this time around they are asked to take it long? And I must say that conversations in the change room, Coach Thabo Sinong also went to the change room to have a chat with the boys, alongside, of course, that man Bafukeng Muhapi, who is a head coach of Lesotho. Now, cross played in, but nothing to trouble Museu.
Happy with that?
Now, if you are a coach for Lesotho, you will then look at how best you can do against this Mozambican side. The likes of Simon Cipriano being the trouble child up front, and Diaz Fumo on the center of the back is also one of the players you just looking out for, because they put that pressure, they defend as a team. The ball played in, but across again still wasteful expenditures, I can tell you, coming from that one, but a good run from the South African side, and substitutions maybe in the 70th minute, not now. Here's that man for Lesotho, Museu Siasho, who just considered a goal. He couldn't pocket it the first attempt, needed a second attempt, but the pace of that man, Simon Cipriano, beat him to it. Now we have a team likes of Tumelo Ratsui, number 19, also trying to just be a menace in the front line there, alongside that man who has just been putting pressure, Shemulang Libina, the number 9. And shot not successful, and well grabbed by the keeper. Now Lesotho on the front foot, trying to put pressure, but the 2-on-1 marking by Mozambique is working very well for them, with the support coming from Rene Tembe. No, the first touch, just going long, trying to find Shomulang Libina. But poor first chance coming from Simon Cipriano. A ball in the center of the park with that big, bold man for the Mozambican side, again with Eduardo Anderson getting a cross in to find Simon Cipriano, who's trying to protest for a penalty, but well read by the ref. And still, this man, who's already in referee's booked. That is Katiso Sileli. Now, header by that man, Rene Tembe. Still the ball in the center of the pack with Mozambique trying to win that run from Libuseta Mufukeng. Man, yes, a few more finds Valdemiro Paulinho. Smart tackle, well taken and well timed. That is Tibelo Museu. Still different energy coming from the Lesotho side. And you just wonder, what did the coaches say in the change room in this instance? Unable to run it. Tibelo Museu, this man, this time around, Tashio Augusto. Decisions when you have the ball, it's 2-on-1, but you only run facing down, really. Shomalang Libina should know better. Why wasn't he getting his head up? I mean, he's facing down most of the time. And how are you going to see your teammates if that's the case? 19 years of age as well. And his coach is a well-traveled coach at the age of 45. He's seen himself spending some time in Portugal, coaching Academica di Coimbra. That is the team. Sean, a man with a bold head there. And he owns an A license for his team. Now, strategies, booklets are coming out. You just have to draft and plan and strategize the best way that you can. Now, the coach is also trying to play friendly games with his Mozambican team through this COVID tough times. That is Dario Monteiro. Now a corner in favor of Lesotho. Every time when there's a set piece, players seem to be going hard at each other, and the sheriff keeps on saying, "Do not do it, boys, not now." Still to play. Ball played in, but keeper also spills it, but the pressure was late coming from that young man. He saw him and he was like, "I'm putting pressure." That is Tumilisho Ratsui. Now, nicely whipped in swinger, rather. And Kimis Zavala was unable to save that at first attempt, and I must say just a few centimeters. That is Tumelisho Ratsui could have also profited from a drop. Lack of protecting of the ball as well from the Lesotho side. I mean, how do you expose the ball like that and just spread your body, deny the opposition? Now the shot is taken, but not much to worry. Lesotho cleared away from the danger zone to their opponents, to their half, and start over, regroup and reshape. Now Rene Tembe with Valdemiro Paulinho. Now seems to be short passes now coming to life. They seem to be becoming a better Lesotho side. And a foul throw there from Tibelo Museu. Well picked up by Sean, assistant ref on the right hand side of the pitch. Good pressure. Ball played to the goal scorer, but a throw in for Lesotho. Now he gets it right. Tivelo Museu, pressured by those two men, Dascio and Valdemino. Now Valdemino putting a peaceful, or rather a slow pass, and nothing much coming from it. Well, we're still live on COSAFA TV. If you want to catch the match, each and every action is live on that website and social media as well. A bit of a glimpse of it in a conversation about this COSAFA Under-20 Championship. It is hashtag COSAFA Under-20 on your social pages. Wondering what type of visuals does COSAFA have on Instagram? No, ball in with Mozambique, trying to play Dascio Augusto. The man with power and a direct crosser to find that man, Simon Cipriano, who just hasn't been getting them right. There's still ball in favor of Mozambique, but the numbers of Lesotho is not allowing Mozambique to play the way they want. Now there's too many numbers, or enough numbers, behind the ball when Lesotho are defending. So it gives them enough time to just usher them out and close the gap and close the spaces that maybe Mozambique are trying to exploit. They got too much power and too much distance on that ball. Rene Tembe it's just easily turns on the player to find Valdemino Paulinho, who's on the bike now, but a ball intercepted or won by Lesotho. Combination play have been intercepted. Now, skill coming from Dascio Augusto to find Valdemino Paulinho. A good tackle coming from Lesotho, and the coach is saying, well done, boy. Now, the captain is saying, if there's three of them coming at us, you need to have 3-2. But I must say, good tackle coming from that number 12, Tivelo Museu, getting the ball out of the danger zone. Tembe on the ball. Can he strike a shot with his left foot, but goes for cross? Now clearing off the ball. A bit of now good skill coming from Shamulang Libina. Now whistle blown, and the ref says it is offside. That is the assistant ref, Clarice Simango from Zimbabwe. The lady has been just picking those offsides. I don't know how many already offsides that she's picked. Now, ball with the goal scorer of the match. Now, if he is wide there, how is Eduardo Anderson going to get the ball into the box? But a strike is taken. Well, seems like not the greatest technique by this man, Jose Zavala. I think he won't be happy with himself after that shot. I think he'll be disappointed at himself. The Tembe on the ball with the header, and steals himself a good Shibobo. Now, that's a good Shibobo, but pass has no address, put address on it. Now, an attempt to get a cross in coming from Tivelo Museu. That centre back man is pushed forward to play behind the defenders, but too much power from Shali Likotla. No, what's this, man? There's a menace. Dasho Augusto finds Tembe. Tembe trying to pinpoint a Valdemino, but intercepted by Tibelo Museu. El Capitano, number 6, Tapelo Mohale, is a vocal player now. He's just informing his players that the numbers that they have are the same numbers we have. So let's rather play a one-on-one. Now, substitution, which has been long waiting, should we say. Now, Livuseta Mufukeng, who's also on a yellow card, will just come out. And the likes of Tebogo Litima also will be coming out. And just a double substitution maybe in the 60th minute is better for Lesotho. Just add fresh legs. You see how best you can utilize those fresh legs. That is Tsela Rankasa who came on. So he's a 18-year-old youngster. So that is Itile Rankasa. Now there's 11 coming on for 18. And you just have to see why the coach are making subs on the wingers. No, this young man who's come on, that is Mokolisi Mutai, and as well as number 17 coming on for number 8. So 2 substitutions that could see maybe Lesotho getting a goal. No, ball played by Mozambique and a tackle there, but the ref returns a whistle and says, you know, it's not that deep.
A corner. A corner. I have a player down.
They have a player down and on the other side of the pitch. Not sure if Eduardo Anderson is having a muscle pulls or there's a knock that happened. I must say there's ushers in this event, so they get the opportunity to just sit on the far side of the pitch or the outside of the pitch and just watch the game, as well as assist with bringing the balls back into field, because we don't have fans, of course, due to the pandemic. We remain without spectators at the stadiums. But remember, you can watch it live on COSAFA TV. And oh man, there's Eduardo's limping. Anderson, he's had quite a good game and contributor of the game as well, towards the pace of the team, just going forward, trying to get those crosses right. Ball won by Lesotho, by that man, Tumilisho Ratsui. Now, poor shots coming from this Lesotho side. Hasn't been coming right. I think Eduardo says, I've had a fair run. Maybe it's time for me to rest, because if he was actually going to come back, he would have rather jogged his way to the line, to the halfway line, to coming back on. But clearly, well, his injury is not allowing him to return into the match, hence the light walk alongside the physio. The ball went wide, and a shot again is still not one of those convincing shots at goal. But we can see that the lucky number 3 from the Mozambican side, that is Perlamino Jose Albino Munich. It's such a long name. Winder. How do you get that on your ID book? But we go with the shortest one, and that is Perlamino Munich is the man coming on. Well, we yet to see what sort of pace does he have. That is Perlamino, or he is going to sit back and protect the lead rather than him wanting to go look for a goal. That is Perlamino. When you speak of Bella, the word Bella, you know, you think of a song that is quite popular now that says Bella Ciao. So when you think of that song, you then also think of a movie or a series that has been watched by many worldwide. And that song is quite popular in South Africa with its remixes. They've found themselves having a house song. Well, you can tell us on Twitter which song is that. We do not want to have advertisement. Now, ball with Lesotho. Well, the sheriff says move a little bit back. I will tell you when to come and play the ball. Well, I must say she's ushered the match quite very well and communicates to the players. And she's a good mother of these young stars, or a sister, should we say. But if you are older than them, they can say Sisi, sister, auntie, if they want to. But the status remains ref, because they can't say Mrs. Ref. I heard them saying Akona, Akona. So yeah. Now substitution is on standby for the Mozambican side. It's just bringing number 6 on and taking out this man, Dacio Augusto, who's also had a fair good first half. Could have been one of the promising men of the match, but being pulled out in the 67th minute, then it flashes the opportunity away, and it gives one man a chance. Now, lucky number 6, Mr. Novella. That is Cardoso Novella. Yeah, it's names remind me of the movies and all, but I would rather not reveal my age as well. If you could just hear the Lesotho young stars just getting instructions from their captain, and the coach has been up on his feet with the hope that he will perhaps shout instructions enough that the boys would listen and maybe steal a goal here. Oh, the minutes are still allowing. I mean, if they keep on pushing forward, they would find themselves getting that one goal. A ball played in to find that's a tall man, but Valdemino being clownish instead of him going at first chance, taking that shot at goal. But he chose to rather jog bonito it than him taking that first glimpse of a shot at first ball, and the keeper was just going to be late with the dive. I mean, it just needed him to put power being in it. Now it's a water break already. We are in it. Hit at least 20 minutes of the first half. Of the second half, a nicely put in cross. Well, the height did allow him to jump there. I mean, that man coming in already, Cardoso, Novella just pinpointing or finding Simon Caprino. But this man, Valdemino, wanting to chip it over the keeper instead of him lacing it direct at goal. Oh, temperature remains the same as 22 degrees. And water break will be good for both sides to just get to hear what the coaches are saying. How to maintain the lead, how to keep this lead is a better thing for them. Okay, the Sheriff was sweat is getting the tape off her mic. Well, all the lapel mic and running is a bit tougher because the heat as well. Well, it seems to be a substitution waiting for the Mozambican side. Young man there just saying his prayers. That is Miguel Munchanga. Coach, well, all the almost. I think it's all about resting the legs more than anything here. Now, introduction of Miguel Munchanga in replacement of that man, Valdemino Paulinho, who's just been an instrumental player on the pace, and putting those crosses was not coming right for him. I think he needed to rather tuck in most of the time instead of him getting those crosses in. How do you keep such a lead when you are Mozambique? Put pressure? Do you pass the ball and just keep them passes flowing and going nice and easy? And when you are Lesotho looking for that one goal, a goal to bring it back into life, or to bring it back into the match, to bring it back into contestation of this championship, you struggle so much, but it's all about applying your mind, and it's just the attitude must remain positive as well, and hopeful that you guys are going to get a goal. Now there's a conversation there that the scaffolding stopped the pushing, and the ref says, I'm watching you. Nicely floated behind the defenders, but Mozambique has the height. And the goal kick is given for Mozambique. That is a big man at the back there, Alberto Alfacé, who's just been quite good at the back, and with his partners, the likes of René Tembe and Sultan Jamis. Lesotho putting a good pass, a combining of touches. The ball played long, again intercepted in the air by that man, Sultan Jamis. Again floated behind the defenders, and the keeper just able to grab that with nothing troubling him. That is Kimish Zavala. Goal kick, trying to find that man, Jose Zavala. So it's a rather pass, that one. And the settings are the same, probably. There's an element of relations. Oh, here's a man come on in the center. That is Cardoso Novella, who plays Diaz Fumo. Ball played long, but captain of the Lesotho side, he's been just quite an instrumental player. That is Tapelo Mohale, with his small structure, but the character and the resilience is there. You then look at the strength of the Mozambican side versus the strength of Lesotho side. Mozambique with the upper hand, but unable to bulldoze themselves through or to pierce themselves through the defense of Lesotho in the center. Coming from the center. It's just a wasteful expenditure of passes coming from this man, Shali Likotla. His passes are just not accurate, not direct at a specific person, rather just pumped over the defense. Throw in favor of Lesotho. The touch is coming from the left-hand side of the puck. Now, a corner kick he has to be given. I can tell you, there's something that Lesotho are not picking up, especially when they combine the touches going forward. Should they keep on passing one another and getting close and keeping the passes very short, they can crack the defense of Mozambique. They seem to be not a convincing defending team, but because there's less attack on them, you barely see their weakness. But honestly, they can actually crack them. Now, ball played short with a flick coming from the captain, but no height coming from that Lesotho forest of players in that box, but unable to just compete for that high ball. The ball played to Miguel Mochango. Now, coach says 20 minutes remaining, my boys. Let's go heavy. Let's go hard. Let's apply pressure. Let's not sit back. Oh, it's a coach that is looking for a goal, so defending is not an option for him. Another quiet man, that is a Siyabonga Munyaga. Now, corner kick played short by Mozambique and driven in, but no height to compete for that ball.
Let's go.
Now, El Capitano, captain of the ship with the white armband, forced to go back and start over. That is the Mozambican team with this man, lucky number 5, Clade Tropper. Good turn coming there, and well cleared. Now, the coach is just giving instruction and saying, let's go hard and go put pressure. And he's been the one on his feet in this match. Or should we say both of them wanting this opening match so bad. assistant ref Sean calling on Simon Capriano just to ask him to keep it nice and easy. Number of fouls, I mean, Lesotho have 10 and Mozambique are sitting on 9. Oh, so close, very close with each other. I don't know how many times the sheriff given talk to this young man, and it's just making sure that he doesn't caution anyone or doesn't give them any red cards. Now that is teamwork at its best there. I mean, the sheriff is busy with the players in the box, and assistant ref Sean goes in to just count and just make sure that the player is back. The ball floated in, the keeper comes out and a punch, but not a convincing punch coming from that keeper. Can he get a strike? And a tackle coming from that man, Alberto Alphonse, to deny a shot coming from Tumeli Ratsui. The counter attack there's the big man himself up front, that's Simon Cipriano. They've got it well covered. The Lesotho side, they have added about 7 players to drop back and be behind the ball. Tembe finds the captain himself, that is Sultan Jamis. Now here's another man with a skin, and he goes for a shot, but away from the frame of goal. It could have been a deflection. Had he gotten a deflection, it would have been a different story. Coming from Clade Tropper, one of the players that contested for man of the match in this game. I mean, look at the step over and losing his opponent and able to just strike it with his laces, with his weaker foot. I think the box or the angle of the ball really didn't allow him to go for a instep kick rather than go for the laces. If you look at the fixture, or this Group A, well, nobody has it easy. A switch of play coming out there, but the keeper being able to come out the box and a dummy run to just slow down the pace of that man who had a promising run. You know, if you look at the fixture as well, and he's just wondering what, who plays when and when. That is South Africa has the next match up against Zimbabwe, and then you have them playing again Mozambique versus Zimbabwe. Now you must also be considerate that Lesotho will then face South Africa, so the next match will really determine the stage or the position of the Lesotho side, should the score remain a goal up in favor of Mozambique. And could say that this group is a group of death, silently so, because there are teams that are in this group, have won this championship more than 6 times, more than 4 times. So you would know that South Africa versus Zimbabwe are teams to beat. Now ball played over the defense, but good height, good header cleared away from the box of Mozambique. Now on a counter attack here, can he get across this fresh leg man Miguel Muchanga? Now playing against with Cardoso, cross whipped in, inviting cross, and cleared out of trouble there before the man who applies pressure, Simon Cipriano, was able to make a contact with the ball. Well, denied room, and I can say young man grabbing on the net and just looking all defeated, but he says, aye, I'm all right, be sharp. That is Tapelo Mohale. Now cross put in, there's a bodies there from Mozambique, but unable to give that header into the box. That is Alberto Alphonse. Lesotho has the ball, but given away again to the opposition side to come on a counter. Now Tembe Rene puts in his bike, but denied the run there. Now, center of the park, the usher of the ball, the distributor of the ball is Sultan Jamis. Now a bit of a skill coming from that far left-hand side, that is Clyde Tropper. The foul given to Lesotho. Can maybe in the remaining 4 minutes of this match, Lesotho get themselves into the scoring board and maybe get an equalizer? Well, still a question that is asked by all, and maybe by the players as well in the center, that can we perhaps get a goal? Now it's a pace for pace, the keeper comes out and able to pocket that one. Let's say young man that's lucky number 5, Katiso Selili, was able to just match the pace of his opponent, that is Simon Cipriano. It's been quiet. Tumelisho Ratsubi, they've been containing him there with his teammate Shomela Libina. I think ball taken wide, but there's no pace, and Tembe being able to just guide him out and usher Shomelang Libina out. Now a good 10 coming from Simon Cipriano, who tries to play a pass between the spaces but unable to pinpoint Miguel Muchanga. Now here's Lesotho trying to catch a good counter and add touches with those short ones, but then he played it behind the defense, unable to find the young man coming from the left-hand side. Oh, here's Jose Zavala. Oh, Lesotho just in search of the goal, Now combining of touches, but ball running away from them. The two partners in crime up front, that is Shomelang Libina and Tumilisho Ratsui. The keeper just sending it to the stands, but it will bounce off the wall and be back into the pitch, sanitized and ready to go again. Now good high ball is there, well pocketed by the keeper at first attempt at the greatest height, and Mokholiso Mutahe was unable to trouble the keeper much there. Well, the 89 minutes gone in this match. Rather, let's say 90 minutes gone, and 4 minutes will be the time added on in this match. Now, what needs to happen is that if you are Mozambique, you maintain the lead, you keep the ball, you pass one another, you rotate the passes. If it means that you make a sub, you then do make one sub. But for Lesotho, it's still a matter of going up front, looking for that one goal, in search of that one goal that will just bring them to life in this tournament. But not all is lost. They can still play and compete against the other teams where you don't know where which direction the results are going to take. But Mozambique side just good with that one goal lead so far. Well, shots coming from this man Cardoso Novella, who just came on and perhaps cleaned the center of the park and added that strength and endurance in the center, not allowing Lesotho to play through the center, forcing them to go out. No, say the young man Mokholisi Mutahe is somehow slowish. Now it's Fafa on 11 Mokholisi with Katiso Selili to find that number 9 Hlomelang Libina. Throw in, it finds that number 6 Tapelo Mohale, who balloons it over to find Dumelisho Ratsui. But that man, number 5, Clyde Tropa, has been prolific and consistent as well with his marking and his attack moments. Whenever he gets a break, he does find himself advancing forward to try and get a cross or a shotted goal, with a bit of a step over, because he's shown us earlier on that he's got the skill. Now a set piece that could perhaps see the Lesotho side converting maybe, or can Mozambique defend this one? For let's say 3 minutes gone off the clock of the additional time. We now wait to see what the minute has in store. I must say, this must be frustrating for the ref, because every set piece that is taking place, the ref has to go have a conversation with a few players that are just pushing one another. And she's been doing it quite well, nicely floated in, but the height of Mozambique was able to just flick it over to Kimis Zavala. That is Cardoso Novella, who popped out and tried to win that ball. And ball played it to the side to find the pacey Jose Zavala. Remember, once the ball goes out, it stays out. It needs to be sanitized before it could go back into play. Now Tibelo Museu whips it over, and defense-wise again Alberto Arfase being solid, and here's the lady is saying it is over and time is done. In this instance, it is Mozambique that have dominated, have pushed forward, have profited from an error coming from that keeper on the other side, Museu Siahlola, who just gifted the Mozambican side a goal. And this man will walk to the hotel and say, I scored the first goal of the tournament, the only goal of the opening match in the tournament. So that is Simon Cipriano Now, as things stand, Mozambique 1 and Lesotho 0. Well, we had a number of chances there in the second half with that man, Cardoso Novella, just putting his cross quite there to try and find Simon Cipriano, but unable to get it at first. And then it went to that man who could have maybe taken a shot with his laces, that is Valdemiro Paulinho, who needed to add just a power instead of him going for the instep. Now, I'll say Cardoso Novella, that was his first touch. You know, a bit of handling coming from Simon Cipriano, pushing defender down. I don't think the ref had picked that one up. Now here's another chance that Clyde Tropper had with a step over, getting into the box and losing an opponent, but there was lack of power. Again, decision making. Do you go for laces or do you go for the instep shot? Or had he gone for the instep shot, would have been something to trouble the keeper. But let me say that he was also covered by the likes of Katiso Selili. And that man there, that is Shali Likotla, didn't give him the room to actually have a clear shot at goal. Well, it is a full time and goal attempts are sitting on 10. That is Mozambique, and fouls committed by both sides, 13 and 11. Tense game. It is a 55% ball position in favor of Mozambique, and Lesotho are on 45%.
A solitary goal, and that is what Mozambique need to win this game up against the Lesotho. Tonight, joining me, we do have our player of the match, and it goes to Jose Zavala. Jose, first and foremost, congratulations. How does it feel playing after such a long time of not playing any competitive football?
Parabéns. E como é que você se sente fazer jogo competitivo depois de tanto tempo parado?
É uma alegria. Agora, ficamos muito tempo sem treinar, sem fazer jogo. Agora foi uma alegria enorme.
It was happiness. It was satisfactory, the fact that we could play after such a long time.
Let's look at now the game that was up against the Lesotho, getting that all-important victory. And mentally, what does it do to them as players to start off with a victory?
Mentalmente, o que é que isso significa para vocês começar com vitória diante do Lesotho?
Uma porta aberta para ver mais jogos, para alcançar mais vitórias. Sim.
It's an open door for more victories and especially or particularly getting to the semi-finals, which is our first objective.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Fantastic performance.
Obrigado, companheiro. Abraço.
That is our player of the match. I will now be joined by the coach of Lesotho, Coach Bafokeng Mohapi. Coach, appreciate your time. Just your summation on the game.
It's always going to be difficult as it was the first game, but we started a little bit sluggish, but as the time went on, I think we step up our pace and then try to push the numbers forward. The last 15 minutes of the first half, I think we played very, very well. Just that we couldn't create, I think, on the last third of the pitch. And then second half we came again. We add numbers going forward, but unfortunately we didn't create much, I think. But the boys, I think they did well compared taking into consideration that we didn't have enough time and we didn't have friendly games. But I think they did well. The next game I think will be better, much better.
And exactly, Coach, there's something that you alluded to in the pre-match, just in terms of preparation. You talk about the two halves as well. It was like chalk and cheese when you look at the first half and the second half. What was the message in the second half? Because we saw the team creating a lot more opportunities, especially in the set pieces, but just unable to find the back of the net.
Yeah, like I said, we tried to push numbers higher so that we could create chances. As first half, we took time before we could put them higher. And I think they were getting a bit tired, the Mozambican teams, towards the end of the first half. So we wanted to capitalize on that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
That is the coach of Lesotho. I will now be joined by the coach of Mozambique, Coach Dario Monteiro. Coach, appreciate your time. Thoughts, please, on the game?
I'm happy. We won. This was the first and the main objective of our match today. So we're happy. We are not really happy with the performance, but we are happy with the result.
Coach, I have to ask you, because in the pre-match, you said the aspiration is to win this game. Now that you've won the game, let's now nitpick in terms of how the team played. Just what are the positives that you take out of this game?
I think we can do better. So I hope next game we do better and we continue to win.
A victory today, Coach, I mean, it does open up the group, but also it takes you to the top of the mini group with other teams that are yet to play. How does that now build in terms of the morale in the team?
Yes, we're happy because we won. So we will recover. The travel was 1,500 kilometers with the bus, so it was difficult for us. So we'll try to recover and to face the next game with the same objective, to win the game.
Thank you, Coach. Congratulations on the victory today. That is the coach of Mozambique as we look at what transpired today in the first game of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. Mozambique getting an all-important victory against Lesotho. It takes them top of the group with South Africa and Zimbabwe yet to play, and it drops Lesotho down to the bottom of the group as they lost this particular encounter. What we're going to see next is a fixture between the two countries that know each other very well in South Africa up against Zimbabwe. Kickoff for that one is at 3:30, and of course it'll be coming to you live from this particular venue, the very same venue. It is at the Wolfson Stadium. The game between South Africa as well as Zimbabwe, the second game in the Group A of the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship. So that was the game that kicked us off as far as the COSAFA Under-20 Youth Championship is concerned, with Mozambique getting their first victory up against Lesotho. Lesotho, so much to ponder on, but the coach now knows what it is that he is working with. Do join us for the second build-up in the second game for today.